Felge, and Wiggy. 38-14 for the Patriots as they start the fourth quarter. This thing was over. Wig, this thing might have been over when that kicker they signed this week, especially to kick off, drilled it off at James Devlin on the opening kickoff. I had the Chargers. That's when I knew I was in trouble. The first kickoff, and this thing has not been a competitive football game.
And you know what the thing about it is? It actually worked in their favor because if Devlin would have kind of let it go, it looked like it might have been going out of bounds. So when I ultimately look at that first kick, but then the drive that they put together after that, absolutely amazing, and it's just the Patriots. This is what I said they were going to do against the Chargers. Divisional round at home. This is who the Patriots are.
Fuck, just a total deep pantsing, and there was Edelman again over the middle. Edelman, what a monster he's been. He's a badass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you know what happened early in the game? He had a little drop, and I was like, oh, come on, Jules, here we go again. And then he's just been able to make plays. Their ability, I know you don't like to say it, their ability to run the football, Cordell Patterson with the little jet sweep end around. Their ability, they're going to bring it back for Holden. What a joke. Their ability to run the football, though, just kept LA in a position where, they really – that's whole 7 DBs thing. It ain't gonna work when you commit to running the football, and you saw them be able to gash the Chargers.
So it feels like they could do whatever they wanted today. I don't have the passing numbers in front of me, but I don't think they suck either. Full credit to the Patriots, but you wonder. I mean, immediately that first drive. I mean, what was the key to that first drive? They were throwing to the running backs. And it's like San Diego had trouble covering the running backs all season long. They decide not to cover the running backs or Edelman or focus on those guys anyway, which has always been the story. We talked about Gus Bradley, and there's James White again for another long gain on a throw. That Gus Bradley defense is the Pats have always attacked it. That's the old San Diego thing. That's the old Atlanta thing. They always attacked it with running backs and Edelman. Those guys always had big days in the passing game. And you come out for a series, and it's like the same thing. The Pats feast on the same thing they've been feasting on against that defense for years. And it's like, did San Diego not think they would try that first? It's just.
And like you said, right? I mean, Brady right now is 30-38, 313 yards and a touchdown. But early in the game, James White was, I think at one point, Brady was like 7 for 7. James White had like 5 receptions. So, that's what they do, especially against the team that they know they can get after you with the rush, get the ball out quick. We saw a couple running back screens. We saw James White lined up wide, coming inside, catching screens. So their ability to get the ball out of Brady's hands quick, that's what they do. And they say, okay, you want to bring those edge rushes? We're going to spit the ball out quickly.
So a commenter just said, and again, we'll read your comments down below. You want to join us? Hit the fan line in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Chris Ricker says, "Do anything for you guys? Nothing special about this game. Another tomato can." See, I don't think the Chargers are a tomato can. I think they're a talented, physical, battle-tested team, and you totally dismantled them. So it definitely says something about the Patriots.
Yeah, and you know how many people I heard that said that the Chargers might have been playing the best football in the AFC, that they were the best team in the AFC, because of because what they were able to do a few weeks ago when they were able to beat KC at home. So I mean, that whole tomato can thing with the Chargers, no, it's just
they're not a tomato can.
The Patriots are just a different team when it comes to the playoffs. And I think that's what you see. Brady's a different quarterback. Belichick's a different coach. And the Chargers, they don't have that experience as far as.
They're a different team at home. I don't know.
Well, that's what I mean. Oh, at home, okay. At home in the playoffs, right? Now, next week is going to, see, okay, can they be able to, on the road, it's an AFC championship game. Can they now take their level of play up to another level? Can they, obviously they've dealt with this pressure before, but the Pats are just a different team, like you said, at home and in the postseason.
Jim asks, is this game more about the coaches or the players? I mean, it's both. Everyone had a great day, but I think it starts with the coaching. I mean, just that thing. I mean, scheme-wise, the Patriots, those running lanes were wide open. The passing lanes were wide open. I just think that style of defense the Patriots have figured out, and the Chargers did nothing to adjust coming into this ball game offensively. And I posted this on Fancred. You know a coaching staff's out to lunch when they can't get the plays in time, right? It's like the Chargers took 2 delay games in the first half and then had to call a timeout to avoid a third. And it's all because the sideline operation, the play, it's just not, they're not dialed in. And so I think the coaching mismatch, just massive.
Right. And a lot of confusion. You saw a lot of confusion up there, moving guys around. Are they going to blitz? Are they not going to blitz? And, when you look at the first possession that the Chargers had where they ended up scoring a touchdown, I mean, it's 3rd and 15, and the Pats get beat on that first down play, which keeps the drive alive, where they kind of blitz a little buddy, and Jason McCourty does what Jason McCourty does all the time, is he looks like the police out there because he's always chasing somebody. And they're able to pick that up, and they end up scoring on a broken, a bad read by Gilmore, getting caught peeking on a double move. But if you look at what they did on that first possession, that moving around really confused them a little bit. It was very difficult, I think, for the Chargers. They end up making that, play, which I said was Gilmore peeking, and then after that, the Pats were really able to shut him down.
Okay, I promised we would take calls on the fan line. If we have James in California, he usually calls without a shirt, which I don't endorse. I like to have our people who jump on with clothes on because it's a little scary. We don't allow. We have anyway. You can swear, you can say whatever you want, but you can't show us any more than James is showing us. It's fucking scary. Go ahead.
What are the chances of the Patriots take this defense on the road and play like this next week?
All right, we're already jumping ahead to next. Well, James, what do you think before I let you go?
I think the Chiefs are going to win 35-30.
So you don't trust the Patriots on the road?
Well, they let bums like Stafford, Tannehill, Mariota, Bortles all carve them up, so I don't know.
Okay, James, thanks for the call. I'll take you off the air. Wiggy, what's your confidence level in this team on the road?
If you base it on what they did on the regular season, it's not very high. But I think you have to, and like I always said, the regular season means nothing now. It's all about what you're able to do moving forward in the playoffs. So I have to base it on a one-game performance. I mean, I know, what they were in the regular season, but it's the playoffs. The pressure's different. Things are different. You could say, because you could go, hey, look at the Colts. They were playing unbelievable football at the end of the regular season. And, then even to the first round of the playoffs, and then, boom, they go into KC and they get absolutely demolished. So I look at the Pats going into KC. Am I concerned with the defense? A little bit because of the regular season. Am I happy from what I've seen today from the defense? Yes. And I would expect them or the coaches to say, hey, listen, here's how we have to perform against Kansas City. We have to play like we played at home. We have to be able to do that on the road, regardless of what's going on around us. Play the way we played and play fundamentally sound. Don't make mistakes. Don't, try not to give up the big plays because that's what Kansas City is, a big play team.
It's just, outside of all that, the home road thing, it's just a huge trend in the league the last couple of years. This divisional round has been chalk. I can go back and look, but it's usually, the home team's divisional weekend are winning. Wild card looks like, the road teams can win, but I think it's been, 6 years or so since anything lower than a 2 seed has made the Super Bowl. So it's all, ones and twos. These home divisional teams have been winning at a really high clip the last couple of years. And I don't know what that's about, because there was a time, Wiggy, when you could win the Super Bowl as a 6 seed. You can come out of wild card weekend and go on a run and win a couple road games and go to the Super Bowl. We saw that a lot. The Giants did it a couple times, the Packers, the Steelers, the Ravens. There's a lot of examples of it. Recently, the last 5 years, all home teams in this divisional round, and I don't know what that is.
But what about the AFC Championship? Because let's look at the championship rounds. That's where the focus, I think, is now is, can the Patriots go into Kansas City and can they beat Kansas City on the road? And when, you start to look at, the history of what you just did, the history of the divisional round, what's the history of the championship round? Now, we obviously know the Pats were able to win the championship last year at home. And you look at the NFC was the Vikings versus the Eagles, and that game was ultimately in Philadelphia. So the two home teams last year were able to win at home.
I'm just telling you, look it up. I mean, I maybe people have the stats, but the home divisional teams have been crushing it. But someone on the comment line says that last year the Jags went on the road in Pittsburgh. Fair point. Leave it to the Steelers to be that one team that gags and, pisses on that stat. Let's grab Alex and Methuen. He's next on the fan line again. You guys can join us. Hit the fan line in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, and we just join you on your smartphone as the Chargers here down 41-14 coming out of their own end. Hey, Alex, what do you got?
Hey, Mike. The one thing that blows my mind, I went into this game thinking to myself, if Phillip Rivers ends up winning, good for Phillip Rivers. It's finally his time we get to go and see him go on and maybe play for his first Super Bowl. Man, I forgot what a crybaby Phillip Rivers is, watching him on the sideline, watching him make all these plays. And another thing, watching the Patriots do their before the game, having that moment of silence for the player of the Chargers shows again that I think the Patriots are the classiest team in the league. I don't know. Okay, guys. Hope you guys have a great day.
Yeah, thanks for the call. I was at the game. It's the first thing I wrote on my notepad. Classy move. Mebane's infant kid passed away this week.
Right.
And the first thing they did before they did like the pregame introductions or right before the anthem, right in there somewhere, they threw up a moment of silence for the kid. Oh, it was a classy move by the Patriots. It was tremendous. Phillip Rivers, your thoughts on Phillip Rivers, Wig?
It's what we've seen from Phillip Rivers in non-wild card weekend games. I mean, this is what Phillip Rivers is. You look at what he's done in the postseason: 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's 5-5. He's 1-5 in non-wild card weekend games. He is who he is. In the words of Denny Green, we thought who he was is who he is, and that's kind of ultimately what Phillip Rivers is. I felt exactly like I felt like this game turned out. He was going to come into New England. It's just they rent, the reason why, like the caller had said before, he's a crybaby and a whiner. The reason that he's that way is because the Patriots own space in his head. And that's why you see him yelling and screaming, "Yeah, they're holding my receivers. They're holding my receivers," is what he was yelling.
He does that against everyone. But I thought it was his year. I thought he was going to come in here and win. So shows you how dumb I am.
Rivers, we've seen it before, Felger, against the Patriots and what he's able to do.
Yeah, but Wig, well, whatever. I was fucking wrong. But every dog has his day. That's what I like to say. Every dog has his day. And I thought it was his year.
They got to get the ball back on the shitty call, or is it going to be running into the kicker?
You think that was a shitty call? He fucking buried the guy. Are you going to complain about the refs up 41-14, Wiggy? Would you please?
Come on.
Oh, come on. You're going to fucking cry about the refs up 41-14. Do I got to listen to that?
You got a piece of the ball.
Do I got to listen to that? Are you going to sit here and bitch about a call? Are you going to bitch about the, who was it? The Flowers roughing the passer call in the third quarter?
That was horrible.
He hit him on the knees. He hit him on the knees, Wiggy.
He was getting pushed. The rule is if you're getting pushed from behind and the rule is if you're getting pushed into the quarterback and you get pushed low, it's not a roughing the passer. He wasn't like he dove into his legs.
Well, I got to listen to you. It's like I was listening to him on the radio. I got to listen to you bitch about the refs.
It's not
41-14. That's what I have to do.
No, it's not bitching. That's the way the rules are. So what? The NFL wants to make sure everybody stays and watches the game, so they got to make sure they come up with these phantom
I don't have time for this. Do this on your own time. Nick in Westfield is on the fan line. Hope you're not bitching about the refs up 28 points or whatever the fuck this is. Nick in Westfield is up next on the fan line. We'll join him. Go ahead, Nick. What do you got?
How's it going, Felger? I was just surprised with everything that they've done this game. Trey Flowers is just dominant. And I personally think that the bye week really helped Brady. I don't know about Gronk. I agree with Murray a little bit. Gronk might be dead. He might just be Robert James Gronkowski. But that's all I have. Thanks for having me on. I love you guys both.
Okay, babe. Thanks for the call. Brady, I'll tell you, did an outstanding job, and it was the offensive line. That first half, both lines, the Pats controlled the line of scrimmage. They pressured Phillip Rivers constantly on defense. Rivers never had a clean pocket in that first half, hardly ever. And Brady was totally clean. And I think, obviously, Brady took advantage of it, and the running lanes for the running backs were wide open. I think the offensive line dominated today, it feels like.
Yeah, and they did. They did, and a big part of that is, like you said, early in the game. When you spit the ball out quick as a pass rusher, what those guys are, they have to play for that a little bit. They can't just pin their ears back and say we're going after the quarterback. So by them doing that, that makes them a little bit light against the run because they're expecting, okay, I almost have to read this a little bit. And when you look at Bosa and you look at Ingram, they're really not the type of guys that are known for being like these stout run defenders. And they were able to kind of set them up with the way that they call plays, and when you put Devlin and you put Gronkowski at the point of attack and you bring them 7 DBs in the game, there were a couple times that we saw Gronkowski blocking, what's 33's name? I forget what 33's name is.
From the Chargers?
Yeah, from the Chargers.
I don't have my foot chart in front of me.
Well, whatever his name is, but there was a couple times he was on the end of the line of scrimmage, and Gronk was just able to manhandle him, and they were able to run the football. So
I think it was about Gronk because he wasn't huge in the passing game, obviously, but again, part of that dominant offensive line.
You don't have to be big when, like you said, when you're running the ball like that, you don't necessarily have to be big. Brady's getting the ball out to different receivers. And when he got an opportunity to make a catch and make a play, it was a nice run and catch for him. So they didn't need Gronkowski to go out there and catch a ton of balls. And now if you're next week going in KC, maybe you sleep on him a little bit and saying, okay, and now he has a big game next week. So I think Gronkowski is the type of player now, they still do double team him that, hey, we don't need to force the ball to him. We can run the football with Michelle. We could throw the ball to James White. We could run the ball with Burkhead, throw him in there. We could get Edelman involved. And, Philip Dorsett has kind of played a nice little role in this first game. And when we need to get it to Gronk, if he's there, we'll take advantage of that.
Okay, Nick asks me, am I going to stroke off the Chiefs this week like we did the Chargers all last week? You better believe it, Nick. Fuck yeah. Of course we're going to talk up the Chiefs. I think they're going to win that game just like I thought the Chargers were going to win today. And so everybody's a winner because I'm usually wrong. But yes, absolutely. We're going to tell it from the other side, which we always do. And if you don't like it, then, I don't know what to tell you. Grab your rattle and go sit in the corner with Wiggy and cry about the refs up 41-14. Let me take a call on the line. Joe in Florida joins us. Joe in Florida joins us next on the fan line. When he's off, you guys can jump on and join us. I do prefer that you have your shirt on. James in California might be the one exception. Go ahead, Joe. How you doing?
Hey, Felger and Wiggy. Listen, you were just talking about Brady, but this is like the first time in a long time where I felt like he had confidence in his health. He didn't seem scared. He seemed composed. Don't you guys both agree that he just looked different today?
You said Gronkowski?
No,
Brady.
Oh, Brady. So it's I don't know, Joe. I think he was really maybe I just think he was comfortable. He was clean for much of that first half. I mean, the first time I saw them put a finger on him was in the third quarter.
Well, he just seemed so confident today. Even when they were the last couple of weeks when they were playing those horse shit teams, he still lacked that confidence. Today, it just seemed like the old Brady. Boom, 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 boom.
Joe, we appreciate it. Go ahead, Wiggy.
It's playoff Brady. He obviously understands the stakes of the playoffs. And like you said, I think, you make a great point, Mike, is that when you're comfortable back there, then you play with more confidence. You're not seeing the ghosts. You're not patting the football and, throwing it off to, throwing it as you dive off to the side. And I think that's what the Patriots offensive line did. And they were able to do that with their ability to run the football. And so if you're the Pats, I think you have the same game plan going into KC next week. Hey, let's run the football. We know that KC they're defensively, they're not good against the run. Let's try to get the run going. Same thing with those defensive ends that they have out there in Houston and Ford. Let's try to make them have to play more than just pinning their ears back, getting the ball out quick. And if you're able to do that, you give yourself a chance to win.
All right, Lauren in New Bedford joins us next on the fan line, and we're still reading the comments here as we go along. We'll answer those as well, as long as the fan line questions. Like, for example, a lot of people have asked, why is Brady still in the game? We'll get back to that. Lauren, go ahead.
Hi, guys. You've been awesome all year. It's been a joy. I got two things. One, the coaching, the game plan and the coaching has just been awesome today. I just feel like they have
mismatch, Lauren. Total utter mismatch.
And then the other thing is, I can't help but think, oh my God, that fucking Miami game is going to come back to bite us. Are you kidding me?
How is that not a penalty? The kick returner blocked the guy. Julian Edelman.
Hold on. Would you stop talking about the refs in this ballgame? How about Lauren? Do you think we're going to look back? Lauren, thanks for the call. Wait, do you think we're going to look back at the Hail Mary thing in Miami and say that cost the Patriots?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Listen, that play, if they lose against Kansas City, you are damn right. That is the reason why. Because you gave up that miracle in Miami, that stupid play. If you don't do that, next week you're back at home playing in the AFC Championship game. If they lose to Kansas City, that's the number one reason why. And we said that we did it before. Remember, Felger? It was when they played down in Miami. It was the Steven Jackson game. And we're like, what are they doing? Yeah. They lose that game, and then they got to go to Denver for the AFC Championship game.
Wiggy, do you have a problem with Brady still being in the game?
Not really, because they're just handing the ball off. You know, they're just running the ball. It's not like they're sitting back there having him throw the ball. And even if he does throw the ball, you see he's getting the ball out quick to, like, you know, guys in the flat or that kind of thing. So I don't have an issue with it. Keep running the ball. Keep doing what you're doing. I think what they do is, you know, even though they say, you know, avoid the noise, they avoid it, but they still hear it. They
listen to it and you know, use it to their advantage. For you know, a lot of people, even locally, were saying the Chargers are a better team. Chargers are a better team. Neutral site, they win. In LA, they win. And I'm sure they use that to motivate the guys. They always do like that.
So there's a little something in them like, okay, everybody said we were going to lose to this team. If we can keep scoring and blow them out and make it look bad, hey, you know what? We heard what everybody was saying. So that's why, you know, sometimes they keep Brady in.
Okay, let's grab Alan from Lakeville. He's up next on the fan line as we continue to crank these out. Again, you all can do it. Hit the upper right-hand corner in your screen, and you join us on your smartphone. Alan in Lakeville will be next with
hey guys.
Hi, Alan.
How we doing?
Good.
So I don't see how you don't go into next week against KC, even though it's at KC, which is a hard place to play, and think that the Patriots don't have this huge confidence going in there. They have a way better coaching staff. Brady played balls today. He stood in there. He delivered the ball. I think they're going to the Super Bowl, no doubt.
Okay, Alan, we'll see you in Atlanta then.
All right.
Okay. They definitely have confidence, and you know that's they haven't always played with that. Certainly on the road, I guess they haven't. Let's see. The trend they need to break is the road thing, but this one should definitely give them confidence. I mean, who didn't play well? What facet of the game would they come out of here saying, you know, we need to correct this? Like everything worked for them today. Everything.
Right, but you got to understand, Felder, in the playoffs, confidence is so big. When we went into Pittsburgh and the AFC Championship game back in 2001, and even in the Super Bowl against the Rams, we were able to win those games because of our performance, but our confidence level was so high, especially in the Super Bowl. You know, and confidence is huge in the postseason. Like, you know, now granted, KC's going to be very confident too because of the way that they perform. So going into that game, you got two teams that are going to have very high confidence, and now it's going to come out. There's going to be a lot of pressure involved in that game, and if a team makes a mistake, you know, are they going to fold up? Are they going to be able to bounce back? So I think when you look at the confidence level of the defense, especially the defense going into KC next week, you got to feel like, man, keep that, and it's going to be a tough game, but keep that confidence.
Wiggy, how'd you feel about the secondary? Let me ask you, who do you think was to blame for that first touchdown where Allen was wide open and Jason McCourty and Gilmore there crossed up their coverages? Who do you think that was?
Jason McCourty was to blame. Very simple. Because if he doesn't give up the 3rd and 15, they're never in that position
I'm talking about the 3rd and 15. I'm talking about the touchdown.
I know that, but the touchdown was a direct connection because of them giving up 3rd and 15. If they don't give up
who?
All right.
Who screwed up on the touchdown?
Okay. Who screwed up on the touchdown was Gilmore. because Gilmore, if you watch it, looks like Gilmore's playing 3 deep coverage where he has everything deep and he's kind of backpedaling. And then for some reason, he bites up on like what would be an in cut, and he jumps that before the ball's coming out of Phillip Rivers' hands. So I would put that one's on Gilmore.
Okay. Does he worry you? There was a little bit of a bunch there, wasn't there, on that side, and a little bit of a communication thing. That play felt like early last year, right, when they couldn't figure out some of those, I don't know, those combination or pass-off coverages. I don't know, exactly what to call it. But is that any bit of a concern to you?
No, because if you go back and you look at the play, it wasn't like he expected there to be help. If you look at the play, he jumps the in cut. So he's just jumping it. Like he's not thinking like, okay, I got help over the top, or like I'm confused on the play. I'm just sitting there. He just bit on the double move, which he shouldn't have done. So I don't really have any concern, because it wasn't like one of those plays where he's thinking he got help on the over the top. They just catch him on a double move, and that's how he ended up getting beat on that play.
David,
but I have no concern with him at all.
Okay, Dave in New Jersey. Cam, you can pop up Dave in New Jersey, and as soon as he jumps off, one of you folks can jump on. Good action today on the fan line. And as soon as David is up, he'll give us his question. Hi, David. How are you?
It's nice. It's nice. Wiggy, love the hat, Felger. I figured shirts are optional, so I figured.
Yeah, hey, Dave, I got a hat for you.
Oh, yeah. It looks like it's great. Anyway, this win today was great. However, against the gunslinging Mahomes, it's going to be interesting to see if they can cover the fast pace of the Chiefs' offense. I mean, our offense should be all right, but, I mean, they got a lot of sets watching the game yesterday and throughout the regular season with the Chiefs. They're very quick, and with our aged defense, I'm not sure they'll be able to keep up with the multiple sets. I mean, Andy Reid may choke. That's what you hope for. But hold on, I got to rub myself. But anyway, yeah.
David, I appreciate it. That's enough. It's a little – he had, unlike James in California, whose chest hair stops about here, this guy had it. Woo!
Got it all over.
Chest hair. Let me ask something, Wiggy. So it feels like, they sent a lot of pressure up the middle against Phillip Rivers. This should be a touchdown here, by the way, for Allen. A lot of, middle pressure, that A-gap pressure, guys coming up the middle. Can you afford to do that against Mahomes? Because he's going to break, contain, and run all over the place. Don't you have to keep him on?
Come on. Yeah. With Mahomes, he's actually really, really good once he gets outside the pocket, throwing on the run. We've seen him do it. We've actually, if even in the game, the game that they played against the Colts, you see him make a lot of plays coming out of the pocket. But the thing with him, you got to get pressure from him on the edges. I'd rather kind of keep him in the pocket, and not that he's not a good pocket passer, but when he's on the edge, he really makes a lot of big plays, because now you as a defender, he's got decent ability to run, so you kind of get caught in no man's land, where at least if you keep him in the pocket, you're able to stick with your receiver a lot longer.
Boston Sports Takes on the comment line says, overrated defensive performance today by the Pats. Manufactured pressure that won't work against Kansas City. Jason McCourty still blowing coverages. KC will pick them apart. I mean, was it manufactured? It was mostly blitzes that got to Rivers in the first half, Wiggy, would you say?
I would say that there was – but that's what you have to do, though, when you're the Patriots, right? Do the Patriots have that one guy or those two guys?
Just one.
Well, yeah, Flowers, right? Flowers is your only guy, and that really does that. But when you look at what the Patriots have to do, that's what you got to do. If I'm going obviously against KC, what I have to do with my defense is say, hey, we have to take the approach that we took the first time we played them. Go back and look at the first game we played Kansas City. Granted, it was early in the season, but what did we do well against them? So they're going to call it a touchdown. What did we do well against them, and kind of take some of that game plan, take some of the stuff that maybe you watch on film that gives KC problems, and that's what you have to do. I don't care if you have to manufacture. I've been saying it for 4 years, manufacture pressure, because they don't have those guys. They don't have the Joey Bosa's, the Ingram that you could say, all right, go get the quarterback.
Okay, let's grab Ari in New York. He's up next on the fan line as they just gave the Chargers the ball down to the one. They called that a catch. And the Chargers trying to make it a 20-point ball game. Maybe these plastic points, plastic yards will make it look respectable. It was not. Ari, what do you got?
Just wondering, 2 questions. First, are you buying into the fact that since this is Gronk's last year, that maybe they're rallying around him? And then my biggest concern for next week is that offensive line holding up with that crowd. Like, when they didn't have Dante in that year, they went to Denver. It was just complete chaos. But it seems like now that they have Dante, they're going to be able to get over that. That's it.
Okay, Ari, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Those are 2 good questions. The crowd noise, absolutely a factor in Kansas City. Wig, you've played there many times, I'm sure. That place is fucking loud.
Yeah, I mean, when you play on the road as an offense, the crowd noise is always a factor because you have to, can't have a lot of double counts. You can't have a lot of hard counts. It's the snap count is not your weapon on the road. So, but you have to be very smart. You have to kind of peripheral the ball out of the side of your eye so you're not jumping offside. So the crowd noise is definitely going to play into it. But what you got to do is you got to take the crowd noise out of it. If you're the Patriots, you got to score early. And that's what you got to do, take that crowd noise out of it. But that's why home field is always an advantage, because if you're the home team offensively, you don't have to worry about that crowd noise.
What was his first question? I can't. Whenever anyone says 2 points or 3 points, I can never remember 1 and 2 because there's not fucking room in my brain. Oh, rallying around Gronk.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you think they're rallying around Gronk? Do you think he's retiring, Wig?
I don't know if he's necessarily retiring, but I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I wouldn't be shocked if he just felt like mentally he didn't have it no more, or he might be one of those guys because he's not the same player that he used to be. He feels like he doesn't want to really play, rather than just be like, kind of, a shell of what Gronk used to be. I still think he's a good tight end and somebody that you can rely on in certain situations, but he's not going to be, 80, 90 catches, 1,000 yards and that kind of thing. So
well, hold on. I'm sorry. Maybe I missed it. Do you think this is his last run?
Do I think this is his last run? Wow, that's.
I mean that was the pregame report.
Yeah, man, it's. I would say maybe. I would say yeah, because when you look at Gronkowski, he almost is like where for him, like if he retires, it's no big deal. Where some guys can't walk away from the game. Like for him, he's like, all right, whatever. I was successful. I made plenty of money. I could do a ton of other things. Where he's not the type of guy. He just doesn't seem like he's the type of guy that would be, fighting to not want to walk away. Like, where Brady, I think, is that type of player. He just doesn't want to walk away. Not that he's at a point where he needs to, but there are players that mentally think like that. Like I just can't walk away from the game. I feel like I can still play.
Okay, a lot of people chirping me I'm scrolling back through the comments. A lot of people chirping me about the running backs and Sony Michel and how do you like them now and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you what I think. I think they could have had fucking, maybe not Wiggy, because they're one of the slowest NFL players I ever saw. They could have just about anyone back there today, and they would have gained yards on the ground. The holes were so I was there, and so I can see it a little bit better than just watching on TV. The holes were fucking massive. When they handed it off to Burkhead, he ran 8 yards up the middle for a touchdown. I was watching last night the LA Rams. This fat CJ Anderson was as productive as Todd Gurley. It's about the line and the yards, and that's where it starts. And so Michel's fine. He's fine. I'm not telling you he sucks. I never said he sucks and blows. That was Maz. I think
you'll die on that hill, Phil. Your thing is, you never did say so. Your thing is that anybody can do it. So
yeah, it is.
You'll die on that hill.
It's about the openings that the line creates for you. And if you're Barry Sanders and can really get yards that aren't there, then great. But then I still think I don't want that guy because I don't want to be relying on a running back.
Right, but I think when you look at, I don't think anybody can do it, because if that was the case, then you'd still have guys. You'd still have
anyone could do it today with the way they were blocking. I'm telling you that.
You have Stephen Ridley or whoever these running backs that have kind of come through here. I think when you look at obviously the offensive line doing a great job, but Sony Michel, his ability to get through first contact. I know he doesn't have that explosion breakaway speed, but he has the ability. He has good balance. He gets through a lot of that first contact, and we've seen him do that consistently.
You say Michelle gets through that first contact?
Yeah, when you think it's yeah, he does. Look at the
he drives through holes the size of a truck. No one touches him.
Oh man, you gotta really watch the game, bro.
I watched the game.
You're not watching the game. You're just looking at the game. You're not watching the game.
Oh,
there are a lot of first contact that he's able to break through and get through holes. He has good balance. He's a tough runner. And listen, I'm not going. You go die on that hill, but I don't think not anybody could do it. If it was that case, then every running back that had come through New England would be successful. LeGarrette Blount would still be here.
I don't need to die on that hill. I fucking won that hill like a million times over. Everyone.
You haven't won that hill. You just all you do is just reiterate the fact that every time a guy has Sony Michel has a good game, you just reiterate the fact that anybody can do it. So you didn't win the hill. You're just on the hill saying the same thing over and over and over.
I'm on the hill of righteousness because I don't see him. I mean, the yards are there. He takes them. God bless. But you don't need a first round pick to find that guy. That is one commenter just said the players that gained the most yards yesterday were undrafted free agents. You don't need to draft that in the first round to get that production. You just don't.
Yeah, but see, that's like everybody goes through that one guy that the undrafted free agent. There's always going to be one or two outliers that do that. But when you look at guys that, when you look at consistently throughout the year, guys are usually draft picks.
Wiggy, what's the lowest paid position on the field? Outside of long snappers, the dead last. What's second to last?
Second to last?
Running back.
No, tight end's pretty low.
Tight end's pretty low. Tight end's down there too. It is. Tight end's down there too. At the running back position, average salary, running back is like second or third lowest in the league. There's a couple special teams positions that are lower, but I think running back might be the lowest non-special team position paid in the entire league. There's a reason. They're disposable razors. They are disposable razors. Bring one in, take one out, draft them, don't draft them. They come from all over the place. And if you spend too much money or too much draft capital at that position, you're fucking stupid.
Tight end is actually the lowest paid position.
It's not. I just looked it up the other day. According to Sport Track, running back is even lower. But either way,
just you know how you know what the lowest paid position is? Just go by the franchise tag.
Yeah,
right.
I think the running back franchise tag is like the third or fourth lowest. So the highest paid running backs do okay, but when you average it out over the entire league, it's the lowest paid position in the field. Folks, you have only we're going to quit at the 2-minute warning. I can't talk for more than 15 minutes about a fucking 41-22 blowout. So you got 2 or 3 minutes to get on the fan line if you want to join us in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. I'm not like Wiggy and you people who can take off my shirt and rub my fucking tits over a blowout football game. I come to it from a little more neutral standpoint. And this, again, I was wrong. I had the Chargers, but this turned into another tomato can game, which are they're.
But no, stop that! Stop that! Don't say it turned into a tomato can game. That's what people like yourself are gonna do because you guys.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I promise. The Chargers are a good team. They were battle tested. This was a good win by the Patriots. I'm not gonna diminish.
It was the Patriots outplaying, outperforming, outcoaching, dominating the LA Chargers and completely doing what I expected them to do. I think a lot of people, based on how the regular season was, didn't expect this. But give the Patriots their credit now. I don't want to hear none of that. I want to hear, hey, we were wrong. We should now next week going to be a completely different ball game. Kansas City, the team that looked good against the Colts at home. You got to go to Kansas City.
So what kind of deal have to give them? Like more specifically, what does a hater like myself have to sort of admit to? Tell me exactly.
Hey, listen, I was wrong. I was wrong
about this game, like you read about. I was all in on the Chargers. I was fucking wrong.
I was wrong, and I should have never picked against the Pats, especially knowing it was the Chargers, it was Phillip Rivers, his track record.
So hold on. Now listen, by you doing that, you're diminishing the win because you're saying Phillip Rivers is a choker and he has no shot. And so by you doing that, you're diminishing the Patriots win because you think Rivers is a bum. So hold on now.
No. I think that Rivers
win or not, because if Phillip Rivers is a joke, then this isn't a good win.
I think Rivers is a good quarterback. I just think when he plays against the Patriots, they basically expose who he really is. That's what I think of Phillip Rivers. When he plays against the Pats.
Do you think Rivers, I don't think Rivers was bad in this game. I think they were all in his kitchen in that first half. I don't think there was, were there plays there to be made that he didn't make?
Well, I don't necessarily say that there were a couple throws, but what I'm saying about Phillip Rivers is that when he plays against the Patriots, they're able to make it difficult for him. That's what I said was going to happen with this game. I wasn't concerned about this game one bit because I just felt like I knew what this Chargers team was, and I knew what the Patriots team was as a playoff team. And so for me, I had said, on the radio that the Pats would win this game by at least 2 touchdowns.
Mike says, Mike, meaning talking to me like Felger, Rivers was horrible today. Was it? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'll tell you his numbers right now.
They had, so again, that's sort of diminishing the Patriots win to say that.
I don't think.
I just think they pressured him. I think they were all over him in that first half.
Phillip Rivers was who he was. 18 of 39, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, but one of those touchdowns came late. 84 quarterback.
Wait a minute. If you're taking away the touchdown, then you have to take away the interception because that came late. Even
yeah, you can take that away.
Okay,
you can take that in the
so 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Fine. Let's engineer his stats to fit your agenda. That's I do it all the time.
No, not fit the agenda. Let's take, like you said, the
touchdown and the interception.
And let's take the garbage time touchdown. Let's garbage interception time and garbage touchdown. Let's take that away. He's probably 18 of 39, 250, and an 84 quarterback rating. That's who Phillip Rivers is in the playoffs.
You're right. I can't argue with his track record. I thought you defended him well. I thought you really pressured him. Ryan asked us, Felger, whose defense is better, Chargers or Kansas City? Because New England needs to score this much next week. The Chargers, on paper, have a much better defense. Much better. So, but, the Chiefs played well yesterday. That sort of surprised me how well they played defensively, Wig.
Yeah, they completely, like you talk about the quarterbacks in this game today, you talk about Rivers and Brady, and the Chiefs and Colts game, it was like Andrew Luck didn't know what to do, and the defense, and they were able to get to him. They were able to get to him. They were able to make some plays. They were able to kind of shut down their running game a little bit. They were coming off the edge with those guys. So when you look at the Chiefs and you look at what they do, you got to make sure that, hey, here's what we have to do. It's about game plan. You got to run the football. You got to run it at them. You got to block those guys. And they should be confident about the way they play defensively.
So is the early line Chiefs -3? Neil says Patriots +3. Is it -3?
I would say it's -3 because it's,
I'm not, what? Are you setting the line? Are you placing book?
No, but I'm telling you, that's how.
I'm not looking for the Wiggy line. I'm looking for the Las Vegas line. Your line's fucking worthless unless you let me bet with you.
Yeah, the Las Vegas line is going to be Chiefs -3.
Okay, you sure? Hold on, commenters, you tell us. Someone who can look it up. I don't want to tell me what's the early line. Patriots, Chiefs, and I want the OU as well. Yeah, Neil says Patriots +3 in Las Vegas. What's the total? It's supposed to be a shitty weather week in Kansas City, right? Isn't it supposed to snow all week?
Is that what they're saying?
It's 59. Paul says 59. It's a OU of 59.
Well, is that the over-under?
Fucking college game? Wow.
Well, you're gonna look at. Let's see, where are we going? Kansas City. Let's see what the weather's gonna be like in old KC.
It's supposed to be bad, like snow, like it's gonna shit all week there.
Kansas City, okay.
Ron says that's got to be the highest playoff total ever. It's got to be up there. How many? Do you ever see NFL games in the 60s? I mean,
listen.
I'm telling you that feels.
Oh, let's make sure.
But shit, today's 63. You know,
right?
It's 63, and only one team came to play. So you can get to 63 like this. Maybe that is 59. And the weather, you know, as sloppy as it's not like the Chiefs game was sloppy. There was snow there, and the field was wet. But that didn't stop Kansas City from putting up a million points and moving the football.
Weather for Kansas City, Missouri next Sunday is going to be 19 degrees and sunny.
19.
Yep, that's what they're calling. 19 degrees and sunny.
Okay.
Hey, that works for the Pats. They used to play in cold weather.
And,
so
Kansas City's not, because Kansas City's actually right next to Costa Rica. I don't know if you noticed that, Wig. They're used to playing in tropical environment or indoors. They have a dome, don't they?
No, Bo. I mean, listen, cold. I'm talking about cold weather. Plus, Kansas City's not really used to being in the postseason. Last 2 years, they got bounced.
Well, hold on. No. They're not used to winning in the postseason. They're used to being in the postseason.
Well,
used to playing in bad weather. They're just not used to winning in bad weather.
So, but it's going to be, it's going to be cold and sunny. So I think, when you look at that game, it's the weather. Will it be a factor? Like you said, it probably won't, because, there's no snow, there's no rain.
Well, it's a wash. I mean, they can handle the elements like you, I think. I mean,
right.
Shit, they play in it.
Yeah, they did well again. Yesterday, the weather was shitty.
Okay, so Boston guy in LA asks, how did the Pats stop Tyreek Hill? It looks like Gilmore did a great job today against Allen. Can you do the same thing to Hill? Can you lock down on Hill with Gilmore like he does Allen?
What you have to do to Hill is go back to the first Kansas City game and that first half. Remember, they shut him down. That's the approach that you have to take. You have to double him. You have to show him different coverage. You got to understand that you kind of got to be physical, but you got to have help over the top. A lot of the times when you see Tyreek Hill, he's running free. And I don't know how the hell teams just let him run free and catch balls wide open. So you have to be physical with him at the line of scrimmage, knowing that the guy has help over the top. You can't do what you did in the second half when you played the Chiefs and you were basically going one-on-one with him versus Devin McCourty, because that's basically going to be an ultimate cook show. Tyreek Hill's going to win all the time, and you can't have him running free, catching balls and open field because of his ability to run after the catch.
Neil asks me, Felger, doesn't the +3 points mean the teams are dead even? Yeah, they might be. Talent-wise, again, what the fuck do I know? I'm always wrong, but I thought the Chargers had more talent on both sides of the ball when you add it all up than, maybe the Patriots and the Chiefs. I think talent-wise, again, when you include the defense, the Chiefs have very little personnel on defense, has been a bad defense all year. When you add up the talent-wise, I think they are pretty close.
It's a wash. It's going to be -3 because of home field. That's what it's going to be. I mean, in this game, right, I think most people are going to say if the Pats win, it's going to be by a field goal, right? And if the Chargers win, it'll be by a field goal. That's what the Chiefs win, that's what it's going to be, by a field goal. I don't think anybody's going to say, oh, the Chiefs are going to win by 10 points or the Pats are going to win by 10. It's a field goal game. I think that's what that game's going to be next week.
In which case, don't you have to like the Patriots in that? I mean, it comes down to last minutes, a few points. I mean, we all know how Andy Reid has historically done in that spot. So to me, if I'm Kansas City, for Kansas City to win, it's got to be comfortable. I mean, I'm going to pick them. I have the field, so I would have had to have picked the Texans. I'm definitely going to have the Chiefs next week, but for them, I think it's got to be comfortable, or else you're trusting Andy Reid to handle the clock properly at the end of the game, and that's not a strength of his.
And that's what I think it's going to come down to. That's why I'm picking the Pats, because it's going to come down to the coach, decision-making, clock management, and it's going to come down to the quarterbacks at the end of the game with their decision-making, making smart plays. And not that Patrick Mahomes has made dumb plays, but because of his kind of like his gunslinger mentality, he's kind of like that Brett Favre. He's always going to give you 1 or 2, maybe 3 chances throughout the game where you can get your hands on footballs and you can maybe create a turnover that way, because he just feels like he can make every throw because he is so talented.
Wiggy, who do you like in this Saints game? Someone wants to know.
I like the Saints. I just think the Saints at home, they're a completely different team. You look at what they're able to do offensively. They're just a different team. Now, Philly, you know, everybody wants to go, you know, the whole Philly magic or whatever, but Nick Foles is just, you know, he's a decent quarterback. He's been playing well. But I think when you're playing the Saints at home, you got to be able to score with them.
All right, so we're clicking down to the 2-minute warning. Thank God. Thank God. I got to take a leak. And Zach Phillip Rivers at the 2-minute warning. Wiggy, that'll do it, baby. All you out there in Fancred, thanks for tuning in. It was a good day. We appreciate it. We'll be back at it next week for the AFC Championship game. I'm just warning you now, Wiggy. I'll be there, but there might be a palm tree in the background. I may have a cigar that may be – you may have me on location. I'll be there. I'll make a point to be there, but I may be on location, okay? So we'll talk to you next week. Was that your helmet?
This is my helmet.
Man, you look even bigger in the helmet. Like, you know, you got a big cabbage to begin with, and you put that thing there. It looks even fucking bigger.
That I will be there as well. You know what? Who knows? Maybe I might even suit up.
Bye, Wig. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.